I think the reason I like want to like talk about this stuff is because it's again, it's talking about like the root cause of our country. Like, can you think of anything worse? And I'm not saying that all the people associated with Jeffrey Epstein did this, because I think some of them didn't. They might just had political power relationships with him. But
Maybe Peter Attia wanted to be a good influence on Epstein. Maybe he heard that thing from another podcast where you are the average of your 5 closest friends, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna I'm gonna change the average."
I mean, maybe he had good intentions with it. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he was like influenced to not do some of the things he wanted in his life, or he was just power hungry of just being like, I'm getting influence and power. This is like a once in life opportunity to be able to have connections with someone that has connections to everything else. We can do different things. It's like that's an enticing idea, especially if you're someone that's like pretty creative and wants to like push something into the culture, into the world that could be valuable, like health and fitness information.
I can do this one bad thing, but it will empower me to do this much better thing.
Yeah. But I don't know if that's true. Reading some of the messages back and forth, it just seems like he was like super horny and was like using Epstein for that reason. That's the way it seems. But
Seems like an attractive guy, and he's got an audience. I don't know why he has such a difficult time.
yeah, I don't know. I guess this is another interesting topic is, I mean, the shit that's happening with this that's so terrible is that there's little kids being sexually abused. I think I feel like we're laughing about this stuff a lot, and it's like I need to laugh because the real reality of things is so dark that it makes me sick to my stomach to actually think about the amount of suffering that's been happening and has happened to like young innocent children throughout these people is probably one of the worst things I think that can happen in the world. Like if you look at evil, or in my opinion of what evil is ruining innocence, like ruining the beauty of being a human being. And the easiest way to ruin that innocence in someone is to cause a traumatic experience when they're younger. And I think this is why I find these type of people who like are what I find so disgusting about like when it comes to like sexual abuse is a lot of it's power dynamics. A lot of it is people being interested in getting off over the fact that they can do things to people and they can't do anything about it. Like submissiveness. And so if you think of like BDSM, is all of that bad? No. I mean, like power dynamics. You have people that are like more dominant and some people are more submissive. But as long as it's like okay, like that's cool. As long as both people are okay with what's happening.
Able to consent.
Yeah, exactly. But imagine taking that interest as like a person who's like more of like a power person in those relationships and doing that to someone who's like so innocent, like a young child that can't defend themselves and can't help themselves and is confused about what's going on. That is like an extreme power domination over someone. And be like, in my mind, I always thought like evilness is trying to hurt and harm the innocence in people, like on purpose as a way to get off on it. And it seems like that's what's been fucking happening with this shit.
I generally think that people are doing the best they can with what they have at the time.
Okay.
But you're saying that these people, they have so much money, they've bought every experience, they're just so fucking bored, and they can. Is that why they're turning this way?
I would assume so. That's actually been the exact mindset that I've had is like, if you're able to purchase and do any type of experience possible, like I feel this way when I go through a phase of just wanting to be like ultra stimulated all the time, or like using nicotine or like masturbating or something, like I'm like, oh, that was nice, but oh, something a little bit more would be nicer. And you get kind of desensitized to stimulation. And so in my mind, I think people that have any amount of wealth and power are able to have any type of experience you want. Yeah, you would get bored and need something that's more intense, more stimulating. And a lot of those things are like illegal. And I wouldn't be surprised that that's why people who are like are pedophiles, or not, maybe not all pedophiles. I think some people are like traumatized and fucked up from their own experience, and they just do this thing that's like socially bad. Like, and I mean, not just socially, it actually is bad, harming like kids and things. But I think that's much different compared to someone that kind of just gets off over doing things that they shouldn't be doing. It's like kind of it's a kink, but you take that to the far extreme where it's like, oh, I'm gonna do some like illegal shit. It's almost like a serial killer where it's like, I'm gonna fucking kill someone and then sexually get like become sexually gratified from that experience. It's if you have adults and people in power that are sexually like molesting children. Like the most like beautiful thing, I think the most beautiful thing in the world is children and the innocence of growing up and experiencing life for what it is and like the wonder of the world and getting off on like removing and harming that, I think is just like the most disgusting thing in the world. And the fact that I think it's a fact that we have people in our current like government and administration that are funding this and supporting this. And is that the kind of country we want to like live in? Is this the kind of country we want like the type of world we want to live in where we're all okay with the most beautiful thing being like harmed? It's crazy to me that like most people on like the far right aren't like outraged by like learning this kind of thing. And I think propaganda has fed into why they don't maybe they're like being convinced not to believe that this stuff is happening or that Trump had like any association to it. But like most Christian conservative people also like viewed children very strongly in that same way, where it's like children are the most important thing. Having families is the most important thing. And so how can they not be outraged to some of these things that are going? Maybe they're just blindsided
Yeah,
by
that's
it.
what I was going to say. They don't want to believe that. They're invested in it. It's kind of like what we were talking about in the last episode, where it's like a sunk cost fallacy. They don't want
Mm,
to change because if they do, then they have to say, oh my gosh, I was supporting this pure evilness. And so we want to just act confident for as long as we possibly can
mhm.
because it would tear them up to realize that. I guess I can kind of understand that perspective.
Mm.
I would not want to find out that I've been supporting someone.
Yeah, I mean, how could you like if you've gotten that far and you're that invested, like, would you be able to pull out? Probably not. It's like the sunk cost fallacy, right?
Yep.
Of
Yeah.
time and investment.
It seems like there's two parts that I think that it's made this situation possible. One is how money is in politics so much that you can't get a seat at the table without $10,000. And the other thing is whenever someone has mental health issues, it's not really treated.
Mhm.
When I heard this crazy perspective that was hard for me to accept at first, but people can't really control what they desire. It's like part of what how they were raised, maybe it's genetics.
Okay.
And so when someone is a pedophile, they kind of can't really help it, but them asking for help seems almost impossible in today's world.
Oh, yeah.
And the same thing, I always think the same thing for serial killers. They're mostly traumatized or maybe something deformed in their brain when they were a baby, and it's it's hard to say, "Hey, I want to kill people. Please help me."
Oh, yeah. It's a
And
lot of shame.
yeah, and most of those people they don't become billionaires, but some of them maybe do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be like I guess first off, do I think like do you think that like these people doing this kind of stuff that are billionaires would have shame about this? About their actions?
I guess I think no, because of the way their brain chemistry is
Mhm.
or some kind of former trauma.
Okay.
It's made them be blind to it. Someone would surely someone would speak up.
Yeah, if I mean, if they felt shameful about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree. I don't I think like any of these people that are like doing this kind of shit, I bet there is a deep part of them that like feels bad, but I think if you're getting off so much on being able to do things you're not supposed to do, you kind of like start like confusing the sensation of shame for something that's like sexually gratifying. Like what normally would be shame of like, oh man, I feel bad that I'm doing this like terrible thing that people don't like maybe they're getting off on that, that they're like, oh man, I'm doing something that no one else is going to be able to do.